Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are journeying way back, all the way back to ancient Greece.
That's right.
We're plunging into one of the foundational pieces of Western literature, Homer's epic poem, the Iliad. And this isn't just a story, right? It's a really profound look into, well, the essence of human nature,
Yeah.
all set against this backdrop of an epic war.
And what a setting it is. The Iliad, it was likely composed around the 8th century BCE, so a long time ago.
Yeah.
And it's not simply, a history book.
Yeah.
While it is famously set during that final chaotic year of the Trojan War,
Right.
it actually delves far deeper than just the battles.
Yeah.
It's an intense study of human emotions,
Okay.
particularly focusing on things like pride, vengeance, and maybe most powerfully the wrath of its central figure, Achilles.
The Rage of Achilles. Yeah.
Exactly. So our mission today really is to unpack this core narrative. We want to pull out not just the plot points, but the timeless insights it still offers us
Yeah.
about being human, even thousands of years later.
Okay, let's unpack this then, this crucial turning point. The story, or maybe the part Homer really zooms in on, it kicks off pretty late in the game, right? 9th year of the Trojan War.
That's right. 10 years total, so right near the end.
Tensions are already super high, I imagine. But then the central conflict just erupts. It really ignites a crisis among the Greeks. And it all centers on their commander, Agamemnon, and their star player, Achilles.
Their greatest warrior, yeah.
Agamemnon does something pretty insulting. He takes Achilles' war prize, the maiden Briseis.
He does.
But it feels like more than just taking a captive. What exactly made that act so deeply insulting back then?
Yeah, you've hit on the critical point there. For these ancient Greek warriors, the word is timey. It wasn't just like a private moral thing. It was
Okay.
a very public, almost performative status. It was
Yeah.
measured by your war prizes, definitely,
Okay.
but also your standing among your peers, your reputation on the battlefield.
So it's all about how others see you.
Exactly. So when Agamemnon, the commander-in-chief, publicly takes Bruce from Achilles, he's not just taking a captive woman. He's basically stripping Achilles of his earned tima.
Wow.
It's a public shaming. It's a direct challenge to his identity as the best warrior they have.
So Achilles is just humiliated.
Utterly humiliated by this public slight. And his reaction is, well, swift and severe. He withdraws from battle, completely refuses to fight for the Greeks.
Just like that.
Just like that. It's
Yeah.
an act of, profound pride, maybe even self-destructive pride.
And the fallout from that one guy's wounded pride, it must have been immediate and catastrophic for the whole Greek army.
Oh, it was devastating. Imagine a modern army suddenly losing its, its most decisive weapon, its best special forces unit, maybe overnight.
Yeah.
I think that's basically what happened to the Greeks.
Yeah.
Without Achilles and his men, the Myrmidons, they were his fiercely loyal, incredibly effective warriors.
Right.
The Greek forces, who'd actually been making some progress, they suddenly start taking heavy losses against the Trojans.
And the Trojans aren't exactly pushovers.
Not at all. And they're led by some really formidable figures, most notably the noble Prince Hector. He becomes an even more dominant force on the battlefield once Achilles is, sitting things out.
So the whole tide of the war just turns.
Completely turns. The Greeks are suddenly on the defensive. They're desperate. They're reeling.
That desperation must have been intense. It really sounds like they were backed into a corner and it just kept getting worse.
It did.
But this suffering, it isn't just about human choices and pride, though, is it? Because the story then brings in something bigger, more complex. The gods get involved.
Exactly. And here's where the Iliad really becomes more than just a war story. It's absolutely permeated by the presence of the gods.
They're not just watching from Mount Olympus.
Oh, no, not at all.
Yeah.
They are very much active players in this whole drama. They openly take sides. They meddle in the fighting based on their own rivalries, their personal grudges, their whims, their alliances.
So, like, who's rooting for who?
Well, for example, Hera and Athena, they're fiercely pro-Greek. But then you have Apollo and Aphrodite, who often favor the Trojans.
And they actually intervene down on the battlefield.
Literally. They intervene directly. Sometimes they'll swoop in and save a warrior. Other times they might strike someone down. Or they might just, whisper in someone's ear, inspire them to acts of courage. Or maybe foolishness.
So these immortal beings are basically pulling strings down here in the mortal world. What does that tell us then about how the ancient Greeks saw things like fate versus, free will? Are these warriors actually in control of their own destinies?
Oh.
Or are they just kind of pawns in this big cosmic game played by moody gods?
Well, it's not really as simple either. It's not total determinism, but it's not absolute free will either. The poem seems to suggest this constant tension, like you're trying to row your boat one way, but there's this powerful current pulling you another.
Okay.
Human choices definitely have consequences, big ones. But those choices are constantly being influenced, sometimes even overtly manipulated by these divine powers.
So it forces you to wonder how much control we really have.
Exactly. Especially when these larger forces, divine or maybe just uncontrollable circumstances are at play. It means that even the greatest hero isn't just fighting other people. They're also fighting against or maybe with the will of Olympus. And this external influence, this unpredictable divine meddling, it just adds another layer of tragedy. Because even the most heroic effort can be completely undone just because a god feels like it.
That makes the Greek suffering feel even heavier, knowing there are these unseen hands kind of twisting their fates.
It does.
And it's in this really dire situation with the Greeks losing badly that a new turning point comes, a really, really heartbreaking one.
Yes.
Achilles is still stubbornly on the sidelines, right, watching his friends die. But his closest companion, Patroclus, he just can't take it anymore.
He can't stand by.
So Patroclus comes up with this desperate plan. He wants to reignite the Greek spirit. He borrows Achilles' armor, his very distinctive, terrifying armor.
The armor everyone recognizes and fears.
He wears it into battle, hoping the Trojans will mistake him for Achilles.
Right.
And it works, doesn't it, at first?
It does initially. The sight of what they think is Achilles returning, it just fires up the Greeks, gives them new courage. And Patroclus, kind of embodying his friend's fury, he drives the Trojans back, pushes them all the way back to the walls of Troy. It's a huge reversal.
But this surge of hope, it doesn't last.
No, it quickly turns to tragedy. Patroclus maybe gets caught up in the moment, a bit of hubris perhaps. He pushes too far. He ends up confronting Hector directly.
Right.
And in a devastating clash, Patroclus is killed by the Trojan prince.
Oh, man. That's not just another death in a long war, is it? This feels like the absolute emotional core of the whole epic.
It really is. It's the ultimate catalyst.
How does Patroclus' death change Achilles' rage? Because he was already angry about Briseis.
Right. That initial rage, the one over Briseis, that was born of insult, wounded pride. It was a personal affront about his status. But Patroclus' death, it completely transforms that rage. It reshapes it, intensifies it, twists it into something just unstoppable, all-consuming.
It's different now.
Totally different. Now it's driven by this profound grief, this unquenchable thirst for vengeance. It's not about honor anymore. It's about raw, gut-wrenching pain and the desperate need to avenge the one person Achilles truly deeply loved.
So that shift, it shows how personal insult can morph into something else entirely, something much darker.
Exactly. It turns this hero into, well, almost a monster, driven by something far more visceral than just glory or status.
And when Achilles gets that news, everything changes again. The rage we heard about at the start that was kind of simmering, now it just boils over, consumes him.
Completely.
He finally re-enters the battle, and it's like he's not even human anymore, more like a force of nature.
Yes, he slaughters countless Trojans, just a whirlwind of death and destruction, tearing through their ranks with this almost supernatural speed and power.
He's not just fighting anymore, he's on a mission.
A singular, terrifying mission. And that mission leads directly to the pivotal, iconic showdown, the single combat between Achilles and Hector.
The Clash of the Titans.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
A moment steeped in destiny. The two greatest heroes on either side. And Achilles, just consumed by grief and rage, he triumphs. He kills Hector.
But it doesn't end there, does it?
No. And it's what happens next that truly shocks everyone and reveals the terrifying depth of Achilles' wrath.
Yeah.
Instead of allowing the proper burial rites, which was hugely important.
Right. Basic respect for a fallen enemy.
Exactly. Instead of that, Achilles brutally dishonors Hector's body. He ties it to the back of his chariot.
Oh, no.
And drags it, repeatedly, around the walls of Troy, in full view of Hector's grieving family, his father, his wife, his child, and the whole terrified city.
That image, dragging the body, it's one of the most chilling things in literature. What was the significance of that in that culture? It feels like more than just battlefield anger.
Oh, it goes far, far beyond. For the ancient Greeks, denying someone a proper burial, that was condemning their soul to wander endlessly, denying them eternal rest.
Wow, so it's spiritual desecration too.
Absolutely. It was an act of extreme desecration, a profound insult, not just to the dead man, but to the gods and to the very idea of human dignity. It really highlights just how far Achilles has fallen into this abyss of his own grief and fury.
It shows his rage has just completely consumed his humanity.
Yes, it's transformed him into something monstrous. He's not just victorious. He's showing a level of cruelty that even other warriors of the time would find, well, shocking. It reveals the truly dark side of unchecked emotion.
It's such a haunting image, and it makes you wonder, is there any coming back from that? Can he find any humanity again?
You'd think not, perhaps.
But then the Iliad pulls another surprise. There's this incredible emotional shift, a moment of just profound humanity right in the middle of all that bloodshed.
There is. King Priam of Troy, Hector's elderly father. He takes this monumental risk.
He goes into the enemy camp.
He does. Guided by the gods, actually Hermes helps him. Another bit of divine intervention, but this time maybe for something different.
Okay.
He bravely goes right into the Greek camp, finds Achilles' tent, and he goes in not as a king demanding something, but as just a heartbroken old father.
Wow.
He kneels before Achilles, the man who killed his son, and he begs for Hector's body back, just so he can give it a proper burial.
Kneeling before his son's killer, that's unimaginable courage.
It truly is. And it's this scene, this encounter, that provides the really poignant, powerful resolution to Achilles' story arc, at least within the poem itself.
How does Achilles react?
Faced with Priam's grief, a grief that so starkly mirrors his own grief, for Patroclus, Achilles is deeply moved. He finally sees, maybe for the first time, the universal human cost of his rage.
He sees his own pain in his enemy.
Exactly. He sees it not just in his own loss, but in the suffering of this old man who was his enemy moments before. And he relents. He returns Hector's corpse to Priam.
An act of mercy.
Unexpected mercy, yeah, and shared humanity. And this moment also leads to a temporary truce between the armies. It allows the Trojans time to mourn and properly honor Hector.
That's a truly beautiful, devastating scene. What's so fascinating there is how it shows this other side to Achilles. He's not just the rage monster. He's capable of empathy.
Absolutely.
What does that moment tell us about the ultimate price of conflict? That even in total war, this shared humanity can somehow break through.
I think it's a really powerful statement. It reminds us that even when things seem darkest, even amidst overwhelming conflict and emotion, these moments of compassion can still emerge. It highlights the immense universal human cost of war, a cost that really transcends which side you're on. And it kind of challenges our maybe modern idea that closure only comes through vengeance.
Right.
It suggests maybe a more complex path to redemption, or at least a moment of peace can be found, not in just continuing the violence, but in recognizing that shared suffering. It's a different kind of strength you see in Achilles there, not just brute force.
So, as we step back from the story itself, what does the Iliad really mean for us? You know, thousands of years later. This isn't just some old story from a dusty book, is it? It feels like it's still teaching us things.
Oh, absolutely. If we try to connect this to the bigger picture, several core themes just jump out, themes that remain incredibly relevant today.
Okay, like what?
Well, first and foremost, obviously, is the rage of Achilles. Homer isn't just describing, a bad temper. He's showing how this deeply personal insult morphs into this all-consuming, grief-fueled madness.
Right, the transformation.
Yeah, turning a hero into almost a monster. And it really makes you think about how we process grief, how we seek closure. It suggests vengeance. While it feels powerful, often just consumes a person seeking it.
And that moment with Priam shows another way.
Exactly. That shared vulnerability offers a different, maybe more human path. It was a powerful look at how destructive unchecked anger can be for the individual and for everyone around them.
Okay, what else? You mentioned honor earlier.
Yes. The second big theme is honor and pride. That Timo. Remember, Achilles' initial withdrawal, that was all about his wounded public status.
His reputation.
Exactly. The poem meticulously explores how personal glory, reputation, that sense of wounded pride, how easily it can outweigh the collective good and lead to devastating consequences for everybody.
That sounds familiar.
Doesn't it? It's kind of a stark mirror to how, even today, status games, ego, the need for validation can paralyze groups, whether it's in, corporate boardrooms or international politics. It forces you to ask, what's the real price of ego?
Yeah, for individuals and for society. Okay, so rage, honor. What about the gods?
Right. Third theme, the role of the gods. As we talked about, they are everywhere in this story. They're constantly shaping and twisting fate with their interventions.
Right, pulling the strings.
And this dynamic really makes us think about that interplay between human actions and, well, maybe divine will. or just bigger forces beyond our control? The Iliad doesn't give a simple answer. It just presents this constant tension, like a tug of war.
Fate versus free will again.
Exactly. Are we really masters of our own destiny? Or are there higher powers, whether you think of them as literal gods or maybe just huge uncontrollable forces like, I don't know, history or economics that guide and sometimes dictate our paths? It's a deep meditation on free will versus determinism. Humanity's been wrestling with that one forever.
Okay. And the last big one.
And finally, maybe the most timeless theme of all, the human cost of war. Despite all the heroism, the epic battles, the glory of the individual warriors, the Iliad never, ever shies away from balancing that glory with just immense loss and suffering. It's not just about the famous heroes like Achilles and Hector.
It's about everyone else, too.
It's about the countless, nameless soldiers who die, the families left behind grieving, the cities under siege, the profound grief that just permeates every victory, every defeat. It offers this stark, unflinching, timeless look at conflict.
Reminding us
That no matter the reason for war, no matter how just the cause might seem, the human price is always immeasurable. And it's felt on all sides.
And that's really the lasting power of the Iliad, isn't it? It's not just ancient history. It's like a mirror held up to our own world, our own lives.
I think so.
So as you reflect on this deep dive today, maybe consider how these ancient themes, this rage, this honor, this loss, the very nature of conflict, how they continue to echo in our world right now. How many modern conflicts, maybe personal ones, maybe global ones, can you trace back to a spark of pride, or an unbridled rage, or just a profound sense of loss? Maybe understanding these timeless stories, these narratives from thousands of years ago, can actually offer some surprising insights into why we behave the way we do.
Yeah.
Insights into the fabric of our societies even now, maybe urging us to look beyond the immediate fight, the immediate argument, and consider those universal human threads that connect us all, even in our struggles.
Well said.
We really hope this deep dive into Homer's The Iliad has given you something powerful to think about. Until next time.